Hello, Rav. Hello, Dr. Lightman. Pleasant. I'm glad for the opportunity talking to you. My name is Tamir Leon. I'm an anthropologist researching culture of youth and kids in many places around the world for a few years by now. And I'm glad for this encounter because there are a few things that bug me both on the research level and on a personal level, and maybe we can discuss it. Yeah, I'd be very glad. And the first thing that of interest to me, and the principal thing, is the relationships. I read a lot of your things, and moreover in the book Connected, and you emphasize in your vision and maybe the solution for the human situation in the connection between people. And I'm concerned, and I'll tell you why. I'm concerned because of the technology, and I'd like to explain it. We know nowadays from MRI tests that connection between people, say if between us now, let's say it's at least 100% connection. We see one another, body language and context and everything. The face are 80% of that communication. I know that in Judaism, blind people are free of mitzvot, etc. So people talk about the endless expressions of faces. However, the teenagers started to putting their head down because of those things. Before their faces. And if I take my words and relate to the connections, and correct me if I'm wrong, maybe as an expression of empathy, yeah, the extent to which I can be in your place. 3 weeks ago, there was a revolutionary research, the most new research of the UCLA University. They took 100 kids of year 6 and at a school at South California. They did a face reading test, happy, sad, etc., laughing, and basic. Later on, they cut them 50-50. So 50 entered the camp, like a youth movement camp, without any screens, without any gadgets. And 50 continued the activities, going to schools, etc. After 5 days, they go out again, and they ran the same test. There was an increase of 33% in kid ability to identify other person's emotion after 5 days in just camp without any specific activity. So maybe they're good and bad news. The good, maybe we can correct up to a certain age. The bad is if empathy is the basis of being humane, so then our kids are less humane than ourselves. Yes. And you, from what I read, you're actually optimistic. I'm, by the way, too. I'm an optimistic person, but it collides with the intensity of technology to date. Correct. But I think we need to undergo here a period of recognition of evil. That all in all, I'm really hoping that soon it will pass away, because there's no... It has to be a great disappointment, great despair from all technology and all that we receive and what we want to, what we are fed with, to see that it doesn't work. Yes, and then people hardly use the phone. You're blessed. Yeah, maybe 2, 3, I don't know, up to 10 rings a week, maximum. That too is because I'm most of the day here and far from home. My wife, keep in contact. The way you expressed about it already show you're saying I have rings, but kids nowadays they don't ring. I was in some school. The rabbi that told me, I'm here for half a year. I never saw a girl talking in school. It's only text. And we know if it's 100% text, unless you're a poet, text is 14%. Meaning, hence it doesn't work. Hence they send it. So you actually see the links, the connections. And by the way, it is interesting because we start seeing in what you're saying, places like France, Germany, the US, they, by order, removed schools, phones from all schools, at least to have the ability to communicate. Because there are those who go the other way around, that you can teach through the phone. Because if a person is constantly, the kid is constantly with this little screen, then they want at least to, they try. I was in those lessons, and I'll tell you how it works. The teacher asks the kids, all the kids are playing in the phone, right? They don't do anything. And the teacher asks, who is Galileo Galilei? So 2 kids are playing, the rest of the class, 2 kids are searching, the rest keep on playing, and the rest also keep, and the 2 after they found it, they keep on playing. This is how it worked to date. Listen, it isn't simple. We also see it in other manifestations of violence, because violence derives from, you are my friend, I'm looking at you, you transmit to me something, but if I don't know how to read it because I don't have practice, I harm you, not because I'm bad, because I don't feel that I'm harming you. Look, there's always a problem that as long as the state will not stabilize in each and every generation in its new state, then we don't know in what form it should take eventually. From what I study, from the wisdom I'm in over 40 years, I'm confident that it all comes in order to bring us closer to a true connection. Not through faces, not through text or screens, rather for people to truly enter the sensation of the hearts, to have connection through the inner wires between man and man. We'll have to come to it because nature demanded of us. We're built for that. Maybe what we're going through right now, it's also kind of a search. How should we find the right connection? Where is it? Obviously, it's not virtual in the sense of virtual as we see it today, but we'll have to ascend and reading one another, not through handwriting nor through face expressions, rather through the inner beats of the heart.